jingle bells. Merry Christmas. I have no agenda but to wish you a Merry Christmas. You are listening to I Don't Know About That with Jim Jefferies. Merry Christmas. It's that time of year where you've just knocked off work. It's the 20th. You've just knocked off work. Do you know that's the biggest drinking year of the year, more than
Drinking
New
week,
Year's?
yeah.
The biggest drinking day of the year is the Friday before Christmas, when everyone takes that day off work and you all have that half day and you all start drinking really fucking heavily and you get all Christmased up and you try to, knock on to Jenny from accounts or whatever, and one of you wears a fucking lampshade on your head.
Yep.
So I hope you're all having fun. I'm self-employed, so I never get the Christmas parties. I never get to go to the Christmas party. Although I always
We can have one.
I have a nice one down at the Improv. I always enjoy. I always go down to that one. So we just finished Asia. What a good time. And now we're off to buy tickets we got Vegas coming up. I've got all of the UK, most of you, like a lot of Europe. Like this is my most extensive European tour. They're all at jimjefferies.com. There's loads of dates. So if you live in Europe or the UK, I'm coming to see you. Tickets for both of those tours are selling rather well. Some of the shows are already sold out. So get on to that.
And this is our last episode of the year, and we'll be coming back in February. But if you want to check out Patreon, we are not charging subscriptions for December or January. So if you want to catch up on those episodes, you can. Patreon.com/IDKAT. And follow us on Instagram at IDKAT Podcast.
Forrest is not with us right now because he has COVID and he's inside his house with his COVID. His second time round, COVID loves him. If he walks past COVID, he's like the COVID's like, I want to attach myself to that fella.
I'm a likable guy.
Yeah, you're a likable guy. If COVID was pussy, Forrest is Hugh Hefner.
Well,
let's read some ads. The holidays aren't sleigh bells and mistletoe. They're also airports, shopping malls, and dining tables crowded with people. So, some you're glad to see only once a year. Give yourself the ultimate gift of a stress-free holiday with Next Evo Naturals fast-absorbing CBD products. Next Evo's Stress CBD complex gummies and clinically proven to have 4 times better absorption than the standard CBD. No other CBD brand can promise that. I had some people over for the holidays, bloody family and friends, which is normally pretty stressful, but I popped some Next Evo CBD gummies, and before that, I just started to like the people.
Yeah, you feel
just started to
stress-free?
like them. It's totally stress-free.
Yeah.
Next Evo Smart Absorb technology delivers CBD to your system in as little as 10 minutes, unlike other CBD brands. Regular CBD oil works more slowly because of how our bodies process oil-based ingredients compared to water-soluble supplements. And regular CBD only activates 2 to 10% absorption. So over 90% of what you're taking goes in the waste. Nothing. SmartZorb upgrades CBD's natural absorbent power. It's scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD fast. The only brand clinically proven to deliver 30 times better absorption in the first 30 minutes. Help fight holiday stress with Next Evo's Natural Stress CBD complex gummy featuring
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha, clinically proven to reduce stress by 70%. Ashwagandha and CBD work together to target the source of rising stress hormones like cortisol. Next Evo is the only brand that combines a natural, patented, whole plant ashwagandha that's 8 times more powerful than regular ashwagandha. Believe me, than regular ashwagandha, and they're 100% US hemp-driven, smart-sorbed CBD with 4 times absorption than standard CBD.
That's wild.
Get smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals and get up to 25% off subscription orders of $40 or more at nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code IDK. That's NEXTEVO.com/podcast. Promo code IDK. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Unfortunately, life does not come with a user's manual. So when it's not working for you, you normally feel stuck. Navigating through life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's career change or a new relationship or a baby. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. BetterHelp has connected over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient and accessible anywhere, 100% online. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% of the time. I use BetterHelp. I use therapy. Therapy's good for you. What have you got to lose? Happiness? Yeah. Sadness. You could lose sadness or just coping skills. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist, and if things aren't clicking with you, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/IDK. That's betterhelp.com/IDK.
Please welcome our guest, Mina Moriarty.
Hello. Now it's time to play.
Yes,
You
yes,
might not know.
Judging a book by its cover.
Boom. All right. I assume you're in Hogwarts right now from the looks of behind you. You've got a big chess piece and you got an owl. Is it something to do with Harry Potter? No, this isn't going well at all.
No.
Oh, okay. No, it's not. A hint of an accent. I can't really tell whether you're British or Australian, but it's soft on either side. Are you Australian? Are you Scottish?
Partly.
Oh, okay. So you're from the north somewhere, some northern thing. It's going to be something northern.
This is very specific.
Oh,
okay.
Is it the coal strikes during the Thatcher administration?
No. Specific.
All right, give me a hint first.
Okay. This is something that you do every day, but we're going to be talking about it in a different time.
It's something we do every day. We're going
when you wake up, before you go to bed,
Before I
during
put on
the
my
day.
makeup.
You do it all day. You're all during. Yeah, you do it all during the day. There's a term for this that but we're not
Breathing.
talking about. No, it's something like, let's say you.
It's like taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
soap, washing yourself.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't do that every day.
What's the word for that?
Washing yourself.
Starts with an H.
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're going to talk about medieval hygiene, where people used to just go, I put a fucking leech on the end of my dick, and now it's clean, and I can't get a woman pregnant for a week or something.
Yep.
Because they're going to talk about us that way in 100 years.
Yeah.
They're going to go, fucking hell, they were mental.
We're going to be talking about 18th and 19th century hygiene with Mina.
Yeah.
Mina Moriarty is a writer, editor, and content creator with a master's in creative writing. Her book, Who the Hell, and I hope I don't mispronounce this, is Olympe de Gouges. I don't know. Was published in 2019, detailing the life of the 18th century French abolitionist and feminist. Her poetry chapbook, Exile Home, was published in 2020 and explores the life of Indian suffragette Sophia Duleep Singh. Mina is best known for creating history content on sex, hygiene, and women's history on her TikTok channel. Is this correct? At HistoryHo101? Is that? Okay. Just want to make sure I wasn't saying something. I don't know. At HistoryHo101.
Yeah.
It's Ho-H-O. That's the end of it. 101.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas themed.
Oh, yeah. HistoryHo101, where you can join her on there and follow with her more than 440,000 followers on there. Thanks for being here, Mina. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to be an expert in this field?
So I'm a writer and an editor, and I've always had a really keen interest in history, specifically 18th century women's history. And so I wrote a book about an 18th century French feminist and playwright called Olympe de Gouges. And it was while I was writing that book that I kind of went down different rabbit holes of curiosity when it came to women's history, sex, and hygiene. And so I thought that other people might find it interesting too. And so I set up a TikTok account to talk about those topics. And after about a week, I had a video that went viral, and it was on how women dealt with their periods in the 18th century. And then, yep, I've just carried on making the videos since then.
So are we going to be dealing with how women dealt with their periods in the 18th century?
We're going to be talking about like bathing, how they dealt with that, menstruation,
Men stuff too. Men and
stuff.
women.
Yep.
Or how we dealt with their periods?
Deodorant, STIs, that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to ask Jim some questions about 18th and 19th century hygiene. And at the end of us asking these questions, Mina, you're going to grade him on his accuracy, 0 through 10. 10's the best. Kelly's going to grade him on confidence. I'm going to grade him on et cetera. We'll add all these scores together. And if you score 21 through 30, Jim, you're strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. Do you know what that means?
No.
There was like a deodorant called Secret
Yeah.
back in the day. Is
And
that over
it
in
still
other
exists.
countries?
No, in
Okay.
Australia, we were just rubbing chunks of coal in our armpits.
No, but that was their slogan. They would say "strong enough for a man, but made for a woman." I don't know why. I don't even think you'd say. Anyways,
Because men smell more. That's the theory.
you couldn't use it though. If you're a man, you weren't allowed to use it.
Nope.
11
I
through
use
20.
female deodorant now. I like a bit of that Dove stuff. I like it.
Me too.
A little bit girly. Yeah.
I did too. I use female. Well, I don't know why there's even a difference. 11 through 20, weak enough for a woman, made for a man. 0 through 10, just right for a loser, and you're made for a loser because you're a loser.
All right.
You get the bad score.
Oof, you don't want that
All
one.
right. I know. First question. The summer of 1858 was referred to as the Great Blank. Remember, we're talking about hygiene.
The Great Plague. No, the plague was earlier than that. That was the Black Plague. It was the Great Unwashed.
When was toilet paper invented?
Whenever it was invented, not soon enough. that's like fucking. What were we doing before? What were we doing?
A
Just
lot of rags, a lot of dirty rags.
A lot of dirty rags and shitting in
Leaves.
the street. Yeah. I reckon it was probably invented in 1847.
Okay. To get rid of stains and grease, clothes would be soaked in what?
Piss.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, piss is
maybe.
going to be, because piss is sterile. I'm just trying to think outside the box. I'm not trying to be funny.
That might work. There's ammonia in there.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
ammonia
Maybe.
and something like that. I don't imagine they had bleach, and they wouldn't have had just, oxy, whatever they call it. And, they wouldn't have had nappy sand, which is the oxy something version in Australia. So I'm going to say piss.
It would be something that, someone's dad that came home drunk would have pissed on the clothes, and then the stains would have came out. They're like, oh, he did a good job.
Yeah. You already smelt like piss, so what difference does that?
Most homes didn't have indoor toilets. Where did they go to the bathroom?
Outhouses. You had an outhouse in the back. There's still a lot of Australian houses in the bush that have these things. They have like the wooden sort of box outside with they always had a moon cut into the door. If you want to get that thing, a crescent moon carved into the door. A wooden box with a crescent moon is your answer. Final answer, lock it in.
18th and 19th century, how often did people bathe?
In Britain, they're still doing once a week. My wife's very lax like that. She bathes herself every day. She goes to shower every 2 days. But with the kids, she's just like, they don't sweat. They don't have to bathe. I go, yeah, they have to bloody bathe. I would say once a week.
Why did women bathe in, quote, shifts? And why were sheets used in baths?
They bathed in shifts because if they bathed at the same time, they'd cycle together and be a bloodbath.
And why were sheets used in baths?
The sheets we used. That's how Little Red Riding Hood got her outfit, man.
Okay.
Killing two birds with one stone.
What did they think hot water would do to them? Like,
every time when you talk about women and you talk about the past, they think that hot women would have given them hysteria. There's always hysteria involved. They'd get overly excited. But we all know, if you watched any stand-up comedy or if you've ever lived with a woman, that for whatever reason, women like their water to be at least 10 degrees hotter than men. I can't get in a bath if my wife's been in there or the shower. Like, it's so hot. The women prefer...
I hate hot water. People think I'm so weird for that, but I'll take halfway. You know, you can turn it all the way up to hot. Halfway is like perfect, and everybody thinks I'm insane.
Well, other women, apart from Kelly,
I'm hysterical.
Yeah, because of Kelly's hysteria, right? But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just a comedy bit, but it's been my experience. Women love hot as all balls. And then I have another theory. I can eat food that's like lava. My wife will blow on it. So their mouths can't take heat, but their body can. Science.
All right. It's a different podcast.
Too hot.
How did women deal with period cramps?
Complaining would have been the first step. That's how I deal with any ailment I have.
In a hygienic way.
By telling everyone and going, oh, I'm a bit sore. In a hygienic way, there would have been a hot water bottle. They still use hot water bottles now. A bit of electric blankets.
Okay, and what did women use back then as pads when they had a period?
Depending on the size of the woman, the big girls would use a whole sheep, and the more petite women would use a newly born lamb.
Okay, how do you think you're doing?
Not good. Okay. I don't know about male hygiene. Why do you think I know about female hygiene?
He just learned about flossing in another podcast.
Yeah.
Victorian women gave this odd thing as a gift to their lovers. So again, we're talking about hygiene. What did Victorian women give as to their lovers as a gift? I'll
say a used tampon.
Okay. What did people use for deodorant back then?
Okay, so it's going to be a weird answer, but I think this would work as an antiperspirant, which wouldn't be a deodorant. So deodorant, they maybe rub some flowers or something like that, but an antiperspirant, I would say they used wax.
Wax. Wow, that would hurt, huh?
No, you wouldn't use it hot. You'd wait to cool down a bit. You'd wait till the wax is warm and then you'd just chalk it on. You'd get an end of a candle and then you'd put it out and then you'd go...
Okay. How many steps were involved in doing a load of laundry, and then how long would that take?
Depends how far your machine is from your room. So I'll judge it from my house. Then I'm going to go down the stairs. Oh, I live upstairs. Got to go back up.
No. I think we're talking about steps that involve like first you do this.
Well, you should have stipulated that, Forrest. Now you've made me look like a fool. Okay, so the first step would have been taking off your clothes. 1. Second one, putting water into bucket. 2, getting that thing that hipsters play, the wash thing when they go...
Washboard.
Getting the washboard.
Yeah.
With me, you just use me abs. But you get the washboard out, you put that in. 3, then you scrub. 4, then you hang out, dry. 5, then you rub horse manure on the clothes to sanitize or something like that. There'll be some weird thing that involves smearing shit on them after the washing period. So I'm going to say 6 steps.
And how long does it take? It takes a while.
It depends how bloody lazy you are. I'd bash it out quick. It's like how they tell you to brush your teeth for 30 seconds. You can do it in 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you meant to do a minute, I don't know.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, fucking hell.
Here's a question I always want to know. How often would clothes get washed? How many days would they wear like something, How often would they get washed and how many days would they wear
I think you'd do a load and so your clothes would last you a week and then you would do a load. And so you'd probably have 5 outfits. You'd do 2 loads a month.
So if you had 5 outfits, that means you'd wear that outfit for like 4 days.
Yeah, but it's like, you wear for a week. Right, so you'd wash 2 outfits every 2 weeks.
And you'd be wearing the one, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd wear another one, and then you'd have your fancy one for the shit smearing festival.
Okay. Did people wear underwear back then?
No.
No?
No.
Free?
They freeballed everywhere they went, commando.
What are perfume gloves?
Oh, they wear pantaloons. They weren't underwear as such. They'd wear undergarments, but not underwear as we know them today.
Okay. What are perfume gloves?
Perfume gloves, you'd put a bit of lavender in the tips of the fingers and stuff like that, so that when you were given a hand job, you smelt good.
Yeah.
It would waft up with each stroke.
It's a good segue. What were STIs called back then?
STIs, itchy cunt and drippy dick.
That was it?
Yeah, they were what they called itchy cunt and drippy dick. I got a bit of drippy dick. You probably got it from my itchy cunt. Oh, well, we'll have a bath in a week and it'll all be good.
Okay. Why was gonorrhea called the clap?
Because if you had enough of it and you ran really quickly, it slapped together with the stickiness of the mucus.
Ugh.
Look, all these answers are correct, but they might not be fun to hear. They might not be fun to hear. These might be some hard truths for everyone.
Okay. Last question. I think I'm going to say, hopefully I say this right. What is a bordaloo? Am I saying that right? Bordaloo?
It's the ABBA song.
Oh, Borderloo. Couldn't escape if I wanted to. Borderloo is a guy called Luis who's trying to break into Mexico.
Oh, wow. We used to be on our podcast.
Yeah, that's where he's gone. He's off doing that. He's going the other way.
He's borderlooing.
Yeah, he's going the other way. You ever seen his posts? He goes the other way.
He's always there, yeah.
Yeah, he goes the other way.
All right, Mina. How did Jim do on his knowledge of 18th and 19th century hygiene on these questions? 0 through 10. 10's the best.
He did a pretty good job, to be honest. I'd probably give like 8.5.
Wow. 8.5.
What?
Wow.
I was expecting a 0. That's yeah. No, all right, 8.5.
We'll have to see the answers.
You want to know why? Because I still practice these hygiene regimens to this day.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
How did he do on confidence, Kelly?
I'm giving him a 10 for the fact that he said these answers are right. There will be some hard truths for you guys.
That's true. That was a lot of confidence.
It was so
right
much
there.
confidence.
That's 18.5. Yeah, I'll just give you 10 for et cetera. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. So, because since you use women's deodorant, you said you might as well use it.
A bit of Dove, man.
All right. Jim said that the summer of 1858 was referred to as the Great Unwashed. What is the correct answer, Mina?
So the correct answer is the Great Stink. So he was quite close there by saying unwashed.
Yeah, the great, the great stink.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I got a point for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Great Stink was when the River Thames was basically filled with fecal matter, and that summer of 1858 was particularly warm, and so the whole city just absolutely stank.
I don't. You'd get nose blind to it though. But I watching historical movies. When I say historical movies, movies like Jabberwocky and all the old Monty Python ones where there are always people in the street just shitting in the it feels like London was the stinkiest of all the cities. Like I know that like New York had like sewage just flowing down the street and that type of stuff, but it feels like London was stink central. Is that correct, or was all cities about the same?
London was particularly stinky because the population rose so rapidly in a short period of time. So the city wasn't really built to have that many people. And so there was just not enough space for all of the human excrement. And not to mention, in the Victorian period, there were about 1,000 tons of horse shit just each day, and that was just horse shit. So
I didn't even think about that.
it was partly the population.
Yeah, there's horse shit everywhere. That was the mode of transport,
and
horse piss and cobbled stones. And like I bet you the underground was the best smelling place of it all. They were building the tunnels back then. All right, next question first.
Okay. When was toilet paper invented? Jim said not soon enough. 1847 is what he said.
1847, so close. It was actually 1857.
Yeah, but my great grandfather hadn't taken it to market yet, but he'd been he'd been using it in his house for 10 years before that. He had to test it because, like, surely what were they using before? Newspaper or leaves?
Yep. So yeah, literally anything they could get their hands on. So newspaper, leaves, moss, sticks. Some people would use like corn cobs. Yeah, sticks. If you were really stuck, just like a bundle of sticks.
Hold on a second. You said corn cobs?
Yeah, corn cobs.
Corn cobs. Yeah.
That's why you got corn in your poo to this day.
Okay. And then it was invented in England. Is that where was the first toilet paper?
So it was so it was 1857. It was a guy called Joseph Gaiety, and it was like the first patented toilet paper as we know it to be. And it was referred to as medicated paper for the water closet.
And it was just,
I always forget they're called water closets.
just sheets of bark.
Yeah.
Like when did the second, third, and fourth ply come in?
When did what? Sorry.
When did extra ply toilet paper come in, or they come straight in with the ply? Like
That was later on. I think it was like the early 20th century.
Ah, good. That the ply amount. I still to this day don't understand why if somebody buys cheap ass toilet paper, like splash out, man. You want the soft stuff. Like what are you doing? Also, I'm a big advocate of the paper should be hanging on the outside of the roll, not the inside bit.
No, it's always outside.
It's always outside. If I'm in someone else's house and they have it on the inside, I swap it around for them.
I do too.
Yeah, that's their problem for being fucking idiots.
I agree.
It's the outside. Then there'll be some people who go, you don't have a cat. I do have a cat. It's fine.
Why would a cat?
Because cats can go and get it off the spindle. But all you do to stop that is you just crunch the toilet roll a little bit so it doesn't get as much of a run on.
Or close the door.
The cats are allowed to wander through the house. I have a lot of toilets.
I feel like every public bathroom now has, they've got the giant rolls in those dispensers, but they're all one ply. And when you're pulling the toilet paper, every square breaks off. It's the most fucking frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah, I want to go back to the days before toilet paper. It seemed like it was less frustrating.
The twigs. Here's a basket of twigs.
Some
corn cobs.
Yeah.
Just twig. You get a
More
towel.
splinters involved though.
Yeah, just get in your bath, and I just get in the shower if I got a particularly bad one, and then just do that. Clean my asshole that way. Have a lovely shower.
Like a bidet.
Yeah,
Loads
I've
of
got a
cultures have
bidet
done
on my
that.
toilet, but I got a bad hemorrhoid. My ass prolapsed a bit. And I don't know if it's hygienic to shoot water up my ass there, but I still
it's
do it.
probably
I
fine.
still give it a go.
There's a big talk on the internet right now talking about how guys, these women are finding out that their boyfriends don't actually wash their ass. Like they're
Oh my
like,
God,
yeah,
yeah,
I
I've
just
been reading about
let the shower water run down my crack, and these girls are like, wait, you don't actually like wash your ass, and just. Bunch of guys walking around with unwashed asses.
Well, you spray it good. You want?
No, these guys.
You want me to shove soap up there? Do
No,
you?
the girl.
If you get a fisher, that really hurts.
The
You
girl
just give
who
it a
made
good
the original
spray.
video said, like, "Well, you spread your cheeks apart, right?" And he's
Oh,
like, "No."
Of course you do that. Yeah, of course you do that.
Just guys
You
walking
get a
around
rag.
with skid
Get
marks
a
in their ass.
rag. Get a washcloth.
I remember
Yeah.
my brother my eldest brother left a skid mark on a white towel.
Ooh.
And a thing when he was obviously drying his ass, he hadn't cleaned it properly. It was a big thing in the family.
shame.
That Danny didn't wipe his ass properly, and there was skid marks on the towel. He'll be listening. He gets angry when I mention him. Scott quite enjoys it. Scott quite enjoys when I mention him, but Danny's going to get grumpy with me.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Especially because the mention was not something super flattering.
He was about 14. It wasn't like last week. Although if his wife's listening, ring in. Tell us if he still leaves skid marks on the towel.
To get rid of stains and grease, clothes would be soaked in what? Jim said piss. Is this correct? Urine?
Yes, yeah, that's totally correct.
What?
Urine.
Ah.
Yep.
I know things. I know
Yeah.
things.
I think you were guessing, Jim. but
Imagine
it's
the
'cause
flies.
It's because of the ammonia, right? Is that the...
Yeah, exactly. The ammonia acts as a cleaning agent and a bleaching agent as well.
I was guessing, but it was an educated guess.
Yeah.
Like I tried to figure out what would go on. Yeah.
So we don't need to wash our hands after we pee.
Well, if you piss on your feet, Jack, you'll never get athlete's foot.
Really?
You'll never get tinea. No, it's a disinfectant. If you piss on your feet in the shower, you won't be getting athlete's foot.
Good to know.
Fact.
Or a girlfriend.
No,
Yeah,
you're
but
At least my
still
feet
in the
don't stink.
shower. He's still in the shower.
I'm just kidding.
so this was what people would do at home. They just pee on their clothes.
Well, they would soak the clothes in pee to get rid of the stains and the grease. And obviously it would bleach the clothes as well. They also used urine to dye their hair.
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
to like dye it blonde.
That's where the term pisshead comes from.
So there was like a communal bucket that they're like, we got to save save the regular, like the good peas for the washing.
No, you.
Yeah,
What?
like it's very
You-
eco-friendly. I
she
guess.
said yes.
You piss on the clothes directly. If you don't have
She
enough
said you would soak
piss-
'em.
Yeah, but if like let's say your clothes are
Yeah.
already soaking in piss, then you have a jug for excess piss. If people come over, you set them to piss in the jug as well. If you've got a big load of washing to do, right?
He still does this.
The
Kelly.
older the piss, the better.
Why is a jug a better idea than a bucket?
So you can pour it on the stain.
Yeah, but you would just
If
soak
you-
the clothes
a
in the
bucket-
water in the bucket.
A bucket doesn't have a funnel lip, Kelly.
Oh my goodness.
Have you ever tried to pour from a bucket? You have to like put it over the hole so because it pours backwards a little bit. Jack knows what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
It does. It gets backs
it
on
goes
you.
back.
Yeah.
Trying to pour a vase out into a glass.
It
You'll see the...
sucks. It's a nightmare.
right? A
honestly.
mason jar. You can't pour shit out of those.
No, they're pointless.
Right?
I think you would just you drop some food on your pants and you're like, oh no, I got a stain. And then you just get super drunk until you pissed yourself. Then you go.
yeah,
home
I think you just piss
Problem
yourself and then a woman would go like, ooh, someone's clean.
It's so hygienic.
deeper.
Yeah. If you don't see the piss mark, don't get the ring.
All right. Most homes didn't have indoor toilets. Where did they go to the bathroom? Outhouses, wooden box with a crescent moon carved on the door. Is this correct, Mina?
So, yeah, that is correct. That's correct more in the 19th century, where people would have outhouses. In the 18th century, you would have a chamber pot, usually just made from wood.
Yeah.
You would poop in that, and then sometimes you would throw it out the window.
Wait. Sorry, go on. You're throwing
No, I was
shit.
gonna say,
You were
in
throwing shit out
Scotland-
the window. I cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah. In Scotland, in Edinburgh, you would shout "Gardy Lou" and then throw, and that's how people knew that you were about to throw your shit out the window. So chamber pots in the 18th century, but yeah, people also used outhouses for a really, really long time.
And
We
what-
had outdoor toilets even up until the 70s in the UK.
What did you call a small bit of piss in Scotland? I assume we.
So we,
So proud of
we,
himself.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, who is that? Who's breathing
That's
like
Jack.
that?
Me and Jack were
Okay.
both doing it.
We're laughing so hard we can't make noise.
Yeah, we were doing the Grinch when he laughs like that.
We haven't talked about Iron Brew on the show in a while.
I've got a chamber pot thing that's always upset me.
Okay.
When Heather, I think I've discussed this before, but it makes me angry to this day. When Heather Mills divorced Paul McCartney, we all know that Heather was missing a leg, right?
Sure.
Yeah, missing a leg.
We all know that now.
Yeah. She was missing it. It wasn't her legs. It was just the leg that she met early on in her life.
Okay.
Anyway, no, she was missing a leg. And she said in her divorce from Paul McCartney that she wasn't allowed to have a bedpan in the bed to have a shit. He banned it, right? Fucking too right, Paul. Well, how dare she go to fucking court and say, and he wouldn't let me shit in the bed. If you're my wife and you want me to fuck you again, do not shit in the fucking bed. I don't care if you have one leg. It's Paul McCartney's house. He has an ensuite. Get along. Hop over there and have a fucking piss or a shit. Don't fucking pull up a pan and leave a steaming shit till the fucking morning. Yeah, love, you went on fucking...
but
you went on
she-
Dancing with the Stars. If you can do the tango, you can get to the fucking ensuite.
No, but she was missing the leg when he married her. She would have been doing this already, though. This would have been a practice that she was doing.
Well, you got to change it. You got to change. If you had a three-legged dog, you wouldn't let it shit in the house, would you, Forrest?
No, but that's a dog. That's different, though. Like, I know how it is when you wake up in the middle. When I was young, when I was like 6, I would piss in the corner of my room because I didn't want to make it all the way to the bathroom.
Okay, well, this is a different.
Maybe we shouldn't take Forrest's opinion on this one.
my dad pissed in a bottle in Forrest's car, car without asking anybody. Whilst we were driving down to San Diego, we got caught in traffic, and my dad just, without talking, he pulled his dick out. Forrest had just inherited this car. His mother had just passed away. Brand new car for Forrest. And my dad pulls his dick out and starts pissing in a Coke bottle. Right? Justin was there. No announcement to anyone. Starts pissing in a bottle. And I said, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, I'm just having a wee. And I'm just like, well, just tell us. We'll pull over. And he goes, he's there having a piss. And he says very tenderly, he goes, I thought you wouldn't let me get out of the car for a wee because I never let you when you were a kid and told you to hold it. And I'm like, how nasty a cunt do you think I am that I'm like, ha-ha, payback. Let the old man's fucking kidneys explode. I don't give a shit. Yeah, so he's a bottle pisser.
All right. Chamber pots. We
Chamber.
did it.
All right, but for one more thing, Paul McCartney's ex, right? Okay, so Forrest, you seem to be very defensive of people just shitting in the bed. This isn't.
I just know that when I wake up normally and I have 2 legs, I'm like, ugh, I can't even barely get up at this age.
But you still don't shit in the bed, do you?
Yeah, I
Almost.
don't care if she had to crawl to the ensuite like the fucking Terminator, right? You're not shitting in the bed. End of.
Well, they're divorced, so it's all good.
Yeah.
How often did people bathe, Mina? Was it once a week?
So it depends. So in the 18th century, people didn't really bathe very much at all. And then into the 19th century, it was similar, but we bathed a little bit more often. But if you were upper class, if you were lucky, you'd get a bath a few times a month. But if you were kind of an ordinary working person, then maybe once every couple of weeks. And then usually the bath water would be like shared with the whole family as well.
That's where the term "don't throw the baby out with the bathwater," because in poor families in Ireland and whatnot, they would have all the kids bathing in at once, and the baby would be at the bottom. These Catholic families, and they'd go to dump the water in a step, and a baby would roll out, and they go, "Oh fuck!" It's truly that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Hold on a second. So when I smell if I don't shower, when people just smelled.
Okay, but the whole place stunk. There was shit in the street, Forrest.
you're just
There was
used
shit
to
in the
it.
street. Also, you know if you've ever been camping, you stink on the first day and then you have a bit of a breakthrough day. And also your hair, if you don't wash it, the oils in it will start washing itself eventually. But we wash it so much that we've broken down all these oils
Yeah,
of
you're
our
not
hair.
supposed to wash
You
your hair
ask
that
Bob
often.
Geldof, he never fucking washes his hair and it always looks good.
I'm not concerned about my hair. I'm concerned about my crotch. That's what I'm concerned
Yeah, but
about.
that was how it was. That's how it was. Everyone had stinky dicks.
Well, Mina, what were you saying?
I was going to say, so when it comes to the stinky dicks, like less so. People did wash their crotches and their face and their hands at a basin each day. So people did wash,
Yeah.
but they didn't bathe. So like actually being submerged in water wasn't really something that happened very often. But you had a basin to wash. So people would do that in the morning usually.
Yeah.
And you could just do your pits and your face and...
What now? I don't want to actually say the term, but what is the term when you have a bath just in the basin?
I know, yeah.
It's a horse bath. That's the one that we've always heard. Yeah, it's when
Wow.
you.
I've actually
when you-
never heard of that.
Oh, you've never heard that? I'm just going to have a horse bath, like after a prostitute. Like that's an actual term.
Yeah.
You go to the base, you just wash your pits a bit with a cloth, and you go, I'm good to go. I've had plenty of them.
Whore's bad.
The horse bath.
I was
not the-
thinking of a different one that had racist undertones.
Oh no, I've never heard that
There's,
one.
on Urban Dictionary, it's called a Mexican shower, and that's just putting like perfume or cologne
Yes,
over.
yes, on Urban Dictionary. You
looking
seem
it
to
up right
rattle
now.
that off pretty quick, Kelly Bear.
It's right here. Mexican shower.
So
She's fast.
Am I right that even up until like the 1960s in Britain, that you know they only bathed a couple of times a week. The UK had very lax bathing views in comparison to what Australia is, and that probably has something to do with Australia and heat and sweat and dust and all that type
Yeah.
of stuff. We have more reason to bathe. But am I right about that? That the British sort of bathed a lot less right up until the 60s or 70s?
Yeah, you're totally right. It was like pretty common in the 60s and the 70s to have a bath even like once a week.
Yeah.
And you'd usually have it, like in a metal tub in front of the fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, really quite lax bathing for the UK for quite a long time.
And everyone was wearing, men and women, full bush. Full
Yep.
bush.
Hey.
Full
Yeah,
bush once
full
a week.
bush.
Once a week wash full bush.
Here's the thing, though, is you feel so good after you take a bath or a shower or whatever. I would just think that when they were taking their once a week or once a month bath, that they'd be like, this feels great. I'm going to do this more often. But no.
Kids only need to bathe a couple of times a week. They don't sweat like we do. They don't stink like we do. I think they once they get into puberty, it's horrendous. But up until about sort of 9, they don't need to bathe all the time. I remember being a kid and I used to bathe about twice a week, and then you'd have that Sunday night shower where your hair would be all slicked down, all wet because you washed your hair once a week, and you'd sit in front of the heater. Wonderful times.
I've been told I don't stink. That's what I've been told.
It's because you wear women's perfume.
No, I mean, if I don't I cannot shower for like 2 or 3 days and I won't stink. So.
If I'm nervous or ashamed or something, I get that fear sweat. If I get that fear sweat, I just like a skunk, just go just stink. I remember once I was coming back from a gig and I did really badly and was at the festival. I felt really ashamed of how I performed and I stunk so bad that we got in the car and there was like a female comic that said, I have to get out and get into a different car. And I knew it was me.
That bad.
I stunk. I stunk.
Wow. Wow.
But ordinarily, like if you ask Julia, I don't sweat very much. So like on the Jim Jefferies show, I never really needed patting down. A lot of performers need to be patted down all the time. Like that Pavarotti, his dick must have smelt. If you saw all the fucking patting down of that guy's forehead when he hit those top notes, he must have had a stinky Italian penis on him, Pavarotti.
Why did women bathe in shifts and why were sheets used in baths? Jim said because if they bathed together, they would sync their cycles.
And it would become a bloodbath. Finish the joke, Forrest.
It's in the notes. It's in there.
It's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not quite it. So the shifts were underwear. So it was a chemise. It was basically like a white nightgown that you would wear underneath your clothes. And it was mainly upper class women that would wear them while they were bathing, partly because of like a modesty thing, as they had lots of servants around them. Sometimes they would use lead weights to weigh down the shift so it didn't float up in the bath. And then sheets were used in the bath just like practically so that people didn't like burn their delicate parts if it was like a metal tub.
So shifts were like something they would wear. Okay, I thought it was shifts. And then so if the metal was hot, they put the sheets down in the before they had real tubs, or not real like tubs like we have. Yeah.
Exactly.
How old were you when you stopped bathing with your siblings?
I don't know.
You can remember it though, right? I can remember bathing with my brother when I was like 6 and he was like 10 or something.
Yeah, first or second grade, somewhere in there.
I can remember doing that. We used to do that thing where you soaped up each other's backs and then you drew a number and you had to guess what number it was. Fun times.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
We're doing the bubble bath beard and hair.
Oh yeah, we did all that.
Classic.
We did all that. Well, even with your kids, it's like you bathe with them for a certain amount of time and then you go, all right, can't do that anymore.
Now it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't have any siblings, so my mom just invited the neighbors over for me to bathe.
I also remember that, like when you were a little kid and you went in the shower with your mum or your dad and you'd stand there and you'd be at dick level and they'd wash your hair and you'd be like, oh, all right, here we go. Because they're just trying to get through the day and get fucking both of you washed fast or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember my brother once made me sit on the drain pipe with my bare ass, probably why I have hemorrhoids to this day. And I'd sat there and then he'd fill the water and then see how much suction I could get with my ass and see how high the water could get.
That's good.
Just fun games.
What
much water wasted.
What did they think hot water would do to them? Jim said they would have gotten hysterical. That's what women feared.
Hysteria.
Yeah, so to be fair, they did like blame most things on hysteria, but the hot water was a general across the board thing, men and women. It comes from miasma theory. So they thought that the hot water would open your pores and leave you more susceptible to disease, things like the plague. So that's why for a long time in the early modern period, people didn't bathe that much. Because we actually did used to bathe a lot, with Roman bathhouses. We bathed a lot in the medieval period. But then once they started to associate water with disease, then we stopped bathing so much, especially in hot water.
Didn't people just realize that if you went to the beach, you smelt better? Like, I guess in London that was, you couldn't swim in the Thames. It was filled with shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you want to go down to Brighton in the cold and then step on the pebbles and go, oh, this is so relaxing by the seaside. Yeah, so I imagine that Australians probably smelt a little better because we were just going down to Bondi. He was the bloke who owned the bath shop.
How did women deal with period cramps? Jim said with a hot water bottle.
Hot water bottle and complaining.
Well, I'm talking about, and complaining, yes, he said.
Yeah, so the hot water bottle, as we know it, I mean, it wasn't really invented until, I think it was like 1903. So we didn't really have that. So before then, the kind of painkillers that women took were different. in the 18th century, people went absolutely crazy for laudanum, which is basically just opium soaked in alcohol. So some women would use that as like a painkiller during their period.
Right, so they
cannabis was also used.
They were taking opium and cannabis just like this. Oh, my period. Oh, and they're fucking heating up a spoon. Oh, this period's a tricky one. Didn't you have your period last week? Another period.
Queen Victoria was actually prescribed cannabis by her personal doctor for her period cramps.
Oh, really? Queen Victoria?
Does that work now? Does that work now? Weed?
Yeah. People use weed for pain. Yeah.
No, I know, but for period cramps, I didn't know if that. I never heard that women.
I do feel sorry for women in period cramps. Like I've dated enough women to know that there's some women who are just like, I got my period, and then there's other women who it's hell for.
Yep.
Like it mustn't be fun.
It's hell.
Yeah. So did you look at those women like Callie or Mina? Do you look at women? I don't know how your periods are, but like if you have a bad one, you look at other women, you must hate them then.
Oh
yeah, it sucks for people. Like mine are fucking hell, and for people that are like, oh yeah, I don't get cramps, I'm like, oh, die.
I'll tell you what. I reckon there's more women have than I reckon more women have migraines than men. Is that a stat?
I don't know if it's a stat, but I would say that that's probably true.
It might just be people who live with me.
The only thing I can relate to as far as the period cramps would be like people that I can't sleep on airplanes. So when I see people that can sleep on airplanes, I get upset at them.
Yeah, I get upset at that too.
I just sleep at them. They're like sleeping this. I'm like, look at this asshole just time traveling. It's gonna wake up 12 hours later and be there. I'm like, what a dickhead. And then they're like,
just get the flatbed first.
Just be rich. Have you tried that?
No, I can't sleep on a flatbed. I can't sleep with my head back unless I'm completely flat. I feel like I'm choking. If I'm sort of seated upright, so I sleep forward with my hand like this on my head, holding my hand. And when I fall asleep, and occasionally I go.
You gotta get that pillow that you put on the table and just put your face in. It used to be in that the Sky Mall catalog.
Whatever happened to Sky Mall catalogs?
They discontinued it.
I never bought anything, but I loved a good read.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I think we just pinpointed the
problem. What did women use as pads? Was it sheep? Different sizes.
Yeah. So did Jim say lamb?
Yeah, lamb.
He said sheep and lambs. He was talking about the whole. He was talking about the whole animal.
Well, sheep and lamb are the same animal, just young, old and young.
Sheep, yeah.
So for period pads, women would use linen rags or like sections of their apron, hence the term "on the rag," which is where it comes from.
Sections
and then
of their apron.
Yeah, they would use aprons, so they would tie it around themselves, and then usually like the clothes had many layers in the 18th century and in the Victorian period. So you would wear your shift over the top, and then your skirts, and then
Surely there must.
It's interesting that you said the lamb thing, because just going back to the toilet paper thing, upper class people sometimes wipe their butt with lamb's wool.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That sounds
I think
nice,
there should be many other inventions they could have used. You know, if not for a lamb, using just a rag. All right, how about this? How about a bucket with a handle on it, and you have a clit ring, and you put it through there, and the bucket just hangs down.
Yeah, that sounds comfortable.
That sounds kind of painful.
Yeah, but it's recyclable.
Yeah,
you're reusing it.
You just invented the Diva Cup.
The cunt bucket.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Diva Cup. The Diva Cup looks uncomfortable.
What's the Diva Cup?
It's a silicone cup that you shove up there, and it catches the blood.
Oh, I've never understood all these wacky things, the bloody diaphragms and all this stuff.
No, this is for periods.
Yeah.
Jim.
See, he doesn't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't need. You don't need to know about balls, and I don't need to know about you, and we'll all get along just fine.
But the Diva Cup looks uncomfortable to me. I mean, I've just seen it. I don't know. My opinion, one man's opinion. All right. Victorian women gave this odd thing as gift to their lovers. Was it a used tampon?
No, so it wasn't a used tampon, but it was a bodily related and genital related thing. So this was upper class women only, and it was for part of gentlemen's clubs, but they would give their pubic hair. So, yeah.
And that's how dental floss was invented.
Wait, they just give them a pile of pubic hair?
Yeah, so they would give their pubic hair as a little gift, and then the men would wear it as like a cockade. They would like pin it to their hat. Um,
Is it like
And it
made
was-
into a wig or something, or is it just
It's
like
probably like
just a bunch of
bundled
loose
like
hair?
Just a clump
It's probably
of it.
bundled and tied together.
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
just like a tie together a bit of hair, and then they would pin it to their hat, and it was supposed to be like it could be a brag of like the sexual, part. Oh, I had sex with her or whatever. But sometimes it was like they thought of it as a talisman that would like give them good luck.
You ever go to a
gonna bring that
urinal?
back.
You ever go to a urinal
Pussy
and
hair in my
you look
hat.
at the porcelain and there's a full size pube on there, right? Just a full curl, short and curly, right? And you're like, well, I thought everyone was trimming these days. Who is this bloke with his 5-inch fucking hair that's just me?
He just had one long
Do
strand.
you shave your
Yeah.
armpits first?
No,
Do you clip them? I've started clipping them, but I
I don't do anything to them.
don't think at the moment.
Why would you clip them?
Because they're like long.
Oh my
and
god! Did you just pull out an armpit hair?
thick. Wow.
Now, Jack,
Whoa! You pulled out
That's
like
a
a
lot.
clump.
Don't leave that on the couch.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Jack, you want to wear that on your hat?
I am so good. Thank you so much.
How did that not hurt? Oh,
Ew.
that's a full clump.
Yeah, it's armpit hair.
Yeah, we know.
Oh my god!
Moving on. What did people use for deodorant? Did they rub some flowers on it or put
You
some
ever
wax?
just rip hair out of your body? I used to sit there with a cigarette lighter and burn my chest hair and then put it out with my hand because I enjoyed the smell.
Oh my god!
Fuck.
I'm a weird guy.
We're sponsored by
I'm
BetterHelp.
putting this. I'm putting
And
this.
Manscaped.
Yeah, the Manscaped. I'll dreadlock it.
Oh my god!
All right, while you're doing that, Jim, Mina, what did people use for deodorant? Did they rub flowers on their armpits or did they put wax?
Gift for later.
So flowers is pretty close. People they would make essential oils out of lavender. They would make rose water, that kind of thing. So flowers were definitely involved.
Why are they called essential
And-
oils? Why aren't they just called oils you might like to have? Essential means that you can't live without them.
Or is it like the essence of the flower? Let's see.
Oh, yeah, like
Essence, it's not-
essentials.
it's
Yeah.
needed.
Essential.
Rather than it being like an essential item.
Because that's the thing with children. Like when they're at 4, you have to really teach them the difference between wants and needs.
Yep.
I need this toy, so you're going to die if you don't have it. Yep. I think you just want it.
Nope. Need it.
Need it.
And was there anything else they used? Besides, it was essential oils is what they did mainly.
Yeah, mainly essential oils. I don't really know about the wax, actually, but I'll have to look that up.
I think wax would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounded good to me. How
And
many
then they
steps?
would-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say they would also use things like citrus and rosemary in perfumes.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good actually.
Who, in your opinion, was the cleanest nation in the 1700s, in the 1800s? Who were the cleanest people?
In the 18th century.
Yeah.
Well, most of my knowledge is sort of Western history, so I can't really speak for the rest of the world. I do know that in the Middle East, they were very clean when it came to like washing their ass, for example. They didn't use
Yeah, I feel like
toilet
the
paper,
Egyptians
but
were
they used
being
actual
pretty
water.
clean. There's always water jugs
Yeah.
in those like hieroglyphics. There's always a water jug. You know, I'll ask the next question. Who was the cleanest people in the UK? And who was the cleanest people in the UK? The Scots, the Welsh, or the English? We won't include Northern
I don't
Ireland. It's
know.
made
I
it too
mean-
difficult.
I don't know if any of them were cleaner than other people. I suppose if you had more access to be able to bathe outdoors, and like you were saying, if you're nearer to the sea. But in general, most of the hygiene practices between Scotland, England, and Wales were quite similar.
I think the Scots were probably the cleanest because they had all the sheep.
Oh, I was going to say the Scottish because they had the kilts. So
Yeah,
they would,
yeah,
they'd be
they
able to air it out.
Yeah.
They're free balling. A Scottish penis
Smart.
in the 1800s was every woman's dream. just a big ginger bush with a little pale knob hanging out that's been free balling underneath some coarse tartan. Like that's a calloused penis underneath tartan. You rub any part of your body all day against tartan, it'll build up a nice callus on it. You could bend a needle prick on the end of a penis, Scottish penis in the 1800s. It would just boom, boom. There was some men used to wear thimbles on the end of their dicks just to keep them supple.
Like a helmet.
Yeah.
thing.
Fact.
Yeah, that's those deleted scenes from Braveheart.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure. So.
They'll never take our thimbles.
How many steps were involved in doing a load of laundry, and how long would it take? Jim said 6 steps.
6 steps.
I'd say six steps is pretty accurate, like 6 or 7 steps. Yeah. So first you would make your soap. So you would make a soap called lye, which you would use by taking ash from the fire
And pissing
and then
on it.
filtering it. No, I'm not pissing on it. But the piss is part of one of the next steps.
Okay.
So you would then scrub the clothes, and then you would soak them in the urine, usually for like a day or so. You'd bash them with a bat called a beetle to like get out all of the dirt. And then you'd spin it, rinse it, and then spin it round a ringing post. That's like your spin cycle. And then you'd hang it over like a hedge to dry. So and the whole thing took about two days. It was quite a long time.
I tell you what, like your cleaner, she would have been well hydrated, eh? And she comes in to wash your clothes.
Yeah.
Just be in the corner, just sculling Evian. And I'm like, you could use that to wash the clothes, that Evian. No. I use it to make piss. To wash the clothes.
It's more sanitary.
Yeah, more sanitary. Then I beat it up with a stick with coal on it and hang it on. What's those things, those big long things you put in the fire with coal, they shoved them under the beds? I always saw them hitting things. Did that help dry things? Is that something, you know what I mean? You know, like the bed pan, the bed warmer? You know what I mean? It's like a circle disc. It looks like a large banjo.
Yeah, it's like a bedpan.
Yeah, it's like a bedpan. You fill it with coals. You shove that in your bed. It's amazing to me that these people weren't all burnt to death all
No
the
idea what this
time.
is.
They're walking around in long clothes with a hat with a fucking that hangs down to their stomach with a candle.
With a tuft of pubes on it.
With a floppy fabric, yeah, with pubes on their head, right? Shoving coals into their bed, smoking a pipe. How these people all didn't burn to death is beyond me.
There actually was quite an issue in the Victorian era with women burning, with like their dresses getting set on fire because they would wear crinoline skirts, which are these like structured petticoats that tied at the waist underneath your dress. So when you went through near a fire, it was really easy for it to get caught on fire and you couldn't take it off. It was pretty dark.
Oh my God.
So that
Yeah.
brought the conversation down. these people burnt to death. So
Did happen.
peace be with ye.
So it took 2 days to wash a load of clothes. It's a long time. How often would clothes get washed, and how many days would you wear like an outfit or clothes? Jim said you'd wear it for a week. You did 2 loads a month.
So your underclothes, which was your shift or chemise, that was just what people wore as their like undergarments in the 18th century. Those are washed about like once a week to every 10 days, as often as you could wash them. But outer clothes weren't washed at all. So they were treated for stains. Chalk was used to remove stains. They would steam the garments to get rid of the stains. But it was just their underclothes that they washed in the 18th century.
Like all my leather jackets. Have you ever tried to get a leather jacket dry clean? They look at you like, we got to send it to a place.
We have a specialist.
We have a special place. And then it's like $80 or some
So
shit.
do with your suede jacket at the old NBC lot. They go, we got to send this to our suede person. I'm like, oh,
You got to suede, like if you wear suede, and I wear lots of suede jackets, you can never wash them. You just fucking stink them up. Sometimes I wear a leather jacket on stage until it just stinks and chuck it.
Did people wear underwear? Jim said no. They freeballed or they wore pantaloons.
Pantaloons.
Yeah, so men wore drawers, which are just kind of like long cotton boxers. So, but women didn't really wear underwear until sort of the latter half of the 19th century when women started to wear drawers as well. And they were like 2 pieces of material together, but they were crotchless so that you could pee easily.
And why did they make that big change? So you didn't shit on your dresses?
I'm actually not sure because for a really long time we just didn't wear underwear.
Well, I still don't understand why people wear underwear in certain conditions now. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like if I had boobs, I don't think I'd wear a bra all the time. It feels like it would get in the way. Mind you, I've never had boobs, so I don't know how, but I reckon that seems like a very restrictive outfit
Yeah,
to wear.
bras suck.
Yeah, so ladies, if you're out there, I say it's okay for you not to wear bras anymore. for your own comfort.
A lot of women
Nothing
are going
for me,
braless
nothing
these
for
days.
me, nothing for
but
me.
you get shit talked if your nipples show. They think it's inappropriate.
Aren't there little sticky things you can put on it?
Yeah, you can wear pasties, Kelly. Stop being hysterical. Go have a warm shower. Go have a cold shower.
Although, do you guys remember watching Friends when they would have the fake nipples on?
I've never heard of this show. What are we talking about?
Wait, what do you mean fake nipples?
They put fake nipples on them?
Yeah, like if you see scenes of like Jennifer Aniston and Lisa Kudrow, and they were like fake nipples that they would put on, so like their nipples were hard.
Yeah, her nipples were always hard in that show.
Oh, I thought she just I thought she was just always excited, always cold on set. Why would they
That was the
put
thing that they
fake
did.
ones? Why would they do that for?
That's wild.
We know this for a fact? Or is this
For the
just
brand.
an urban legend?
I'll look up
No,
Friends
it's
fake
true
nipples.
because sometimes they'll be wonky from scene to scene. But you
Yeah,
should,
but sometimes real
watch it back.
nipples can be wonky from scene to scene. I've seen
Wait, it says,
Yeah, but they don't change position.
I think Jennifer Aniston. I just pulled up a Cosmopolitan article, and I think Jennifer Aniston said it.
that's going to ruin everything. All these wanks have been pointless.
Or she just said that to get people to stop wanking.
I haven't read the whole article, but I think
I don't think
legit.
she'd be upset if someone had a wank about that. Would you? I'd love if I knew women had a wank. Watching one of my comedy specials and they just looked around and then they lifted one leg up on the side of the couch and had a fiddle.
You would question that woman.
Oh, she's mentally ill. But I would take the compliment. I wouldn't be like, "How dare you!"
Clearly hysterical.
Oh, I think she's saying, because then some people said she cut holes in her bra, and then she said, "Hey, it's just a thing. What did I tell you? I don't know what to tell you. I'm supposed to be ashamed of them. It's just the way the breasts are." So I don't know. I don't have time to read through all these Friends articles. There's a lot of Friends nipples articles out there.
I haven't contacted Brad Pitt for a while, but I'll ask him.
So I was watching Friends.
Brad, I need a favor. Can you? Well, I've got an argument happening, and I need some inside.
What are perfume gloves? Jim said you put a bit of lavender on the tips of the fingers, so it'll smell good when you give a hand job. Is this correct?
Partial credit.
I mean, I don't know about the hand job bit, but they were used to make people smell better. But yeah, they were usually soaked in some kind of concoction. There's one from the Victorian era where they used angelica water, rose water, ambergris, which is made from the intestines of a sperm whale, and then also musk, which is from like the musk gland of a deer. And then you'd mix all of that together, soak your gloves in it, and then you'd smell nice the next day.
Was the Indian technique of you eat food with one hand, you wipe your ass with the other hand, right? Which is still done in poverty-stricken bits of India, which is a lot of it. Was that adopted, or here in the West were we just shitting and eating with both hands?
Yeah, in the West, as far as I'm aware, it was the eating and shitting with both hands.
Yay.
'Cause in India, that's been a thing for a long time, where you eat with you have a dominant hand and then you wipe your ass with the other hand.
Yep.
Yep.
We're gross. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just shitting and eating. That's what freedom is, baby.
What were STIs called? Jim said itchy cunt and drippy dick.
Itchy cunt, trippy dick.
They were called venereal disease.
Oh, they're still called
Which
venereal disease. They're still
Yeah, but
called
that's
that.
what they referred to it as. They didn't understand the concept of it being, like a transmitted infection.
Yeah, they put it on the women, is what you're saying. So they made it sound like it's just coming from the women. It couldn't be. Yeah.
I've never understood why. Like that's proof right there. There's no fucking God. Like the idea that the most pleasurable thing that a human can be can make you sick as a fucking dog and die, and you can hurt other people.
Well, it's because dumbass Eve took the apple. She didn't do that.
Is it Eve's fault?
Yeah.
That's new. Who was she?
Adam's wife.
I thought he was a sister or something. Were they white husband?
Well,
and wife?
she came from his rib.
Yeah, it came from his rib. What was all that
It's
about?
kind of weird.
Technically,
And
like
then
his daughter.
and then
It's a weird start.
And then they had two sons.
Yeah.
Like Do the math,
And then the
God.
one son killed the other one. It's a
Yeah.
bad family.
Where are these other women? I know that one of them walked into the bush and found another bird. She was just there. He walked into the forest, and there was another girl waiting for him. That was like season 3 when they were writing this fucking mini series, and they went, "Oh, we got to introduce a new character." Oh, I just find her in the woods. Oh, the original writers were better with the ribs and all that. Yeah, she's in the woods.
By the way, I don't think you'd find a doctor that would call it venereal disease anymore.
Oh, I always thought it was venereal disease. It's venereal disease.
I thought that was the real smarty pants
VD.
way
I
to
always
say
VD. STDs, VDs. Because I told you my one of my drag queen names. I've got a couple of drag queen names. When you watch enough RuPaul's Drag Race, you start thinking, what's your drag race name's going to be? And one of my names is Sandy Bollocks, right? Like Sandra Bollocks, Sandra Bullock, right? Sandy Bollocks. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. And then I've got another one that's Estee, like Estee Lauder, right? STD. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's my other one.
Yeah.
It's got another one.
It's good.
Yeah.
Why was gonorrhea called a clap? And,
Do you want one, Jack? I'll make one up for you.
What you got?
The penetration's already taken. I'll come up with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why was gonorrhea called a clap? I don't really want to repeat this answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Repeat it. That's the show, Forrest. That's the show.
I don't remember what he said.
We have a formula.
If you ran fast
Something
enough,
about clapping.
it'd make the sound with a sticky mucus. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
clapping sound.
No,
I
I
remember
think
that
I
now.
said pus.
Yeah, it was mucus.
He did not say pus.
I'm going to say sticky pus. Change my answer.
Gross.
Why was gonorrhea called a clap?
Lock it in.
So it is actually pus related.
Yeah! Pus, 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 pus. Got the clap.
So this is just one theory. So there's several different potential origins of gonorrhea being referred to as the clap. One is that doctors would get the penis and then smack it with something really heavy, like a book, to release the pus. The clap.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have antibiotics. Did you just die from it, or did it go away after 6 years or something? Like, how did you get rid of it?
People use mercury quite often. People would.
Oh,
then
God.
you go
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, then you lose your mind.
Sometimes they would inject mercury into the urethra.
Mercury's in penis grade.
Yeah, but doesn't mercury? What are the side effects of mercury? Like tremors and memory loss, cognitive motor dysfunction.
You get madness.
Exactly, yeah.
You get madness. Like the Mad Hatter, they use mercury to stiffen the brims of hats, and that's why he was crazy.
Oh.
Okay. Here we go. What is Bordaloo? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Bordaloo?
Bordaloo.
Yeah, Bordaloo.
Yeah. What is Bordaloo?
What did Jim say?
I said it was a guy called Luis who's trying to get into Mexico.
Yeah, that was wrong. That's why
Bordaloo.
All right.
we didn't even need to repeat that one because it was wrong. It was
Yeah, no. So a Bordaloo was a receptacle for a woman to pee in, like on the go. So it kind of looked like a gravy boat, and it was made of porcelain, and it was so women could pee while they were standing up easier, or if they were traveling in a carriage, they could pee into it.
Oh, the original Shiwi.
Yeah, like
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And then there's that stuff that women spray in toilets to make their poo not smell
Poopery.
poopery. Yeah, like what are you doing?
Poopery.
Just live your life, man. I had a girl that I needed to have a shit, and I went on a date with her. My friend Bambi. We never really got together, but I went on a date with her, right? And I went over to her house, and she was cooking for me, and I was like, okay. I go, how long's dinner? And she goes, about 40 minutes. I go, okay, I got to go to the bathroom. Then she goes, what are you doing in there? I go, I got to do a shit, you know. That was the end of the date, man. When you got to go, you got to go. She goes, you're not shitting in my house. Where do you want me to shit then? I need to shit.
Why can't you shit in the house?
Wait, what? She said you couldn't shit in the house?
I couldn't shit in the house.
That's insane.
she Paul McCartney you.
Yeah, she probably, I wasn't allowed to shit. I wasn't doing it on the coffee table.
Yeah, but still, that was her stand. She
We
was.
don't shit in this house.
Yeah, she goes, I don't want to smell your shit. It was a one-bedroom apartment, but them was the breaks. My wife, if she has to shit, right, and I've still not smelt one because I have to go for a walk. If I'm in a hotel room, I have to go for a walk.
Wow.
I have to go for a walk while she has a shit.
What if it's the middle of the night?
Ah, I have to go for a walk.
How do you think he gets all his steps in?
There's no way around this. I've tried to go. I don't care, But it's like one of my happiest times in my life is when my wife lets out a fart by accident. That brings me so much joy because the shame on her face is just too
So
too.
embarrassed.
Yeah, so she can't do it. She can't do it. She has a mental block.
Now's a part of our show called Dinner Party Facts. We ask our guests to give us some sort of fact, obscure, interesting that our listening audience can use to impress people. What do you got for us, Mina?
So in the 18th century, people used to bring pineapples to parties. Pineapples were like super expensive, so they were seen as like a status symbol, and so you could rent one and take it on a night out with you. And if you wanted to buy one, it would cost, like in modern day money, about $8,000.
What?
In modern day money, $8,000 because it came all the way from the Pacific or something.
What do you mean rent one?
Yeah, so
they wouldn't eat it?
yeah, you could.
No, it's just there.
No, people wouldn't eat it. It was just to signify how wealthy you were that you could bring a pineapple to a party. So you could rent it for an evening.
Do you think
Rolexes cost a fiver?
Do you think that has anything to do with pineapples being the symbol for like swingers nowadays?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Because that pineapple's upside down, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you have an upside down pineapple, that means you're a swinger.
In your cart?
Well, no, just like some
interesting.
people have like flags outside of their house. I know how you feel about flags, or like decor outside of their house, and if it's flipped upside down, that's supposed to signify that house is a swinger house.
Why don't you just put a pineapple out there? Why upside down?
I don't because you could. I guess I mean I don't know why
Who
you would
else
have a
is
regular pineapple on
leaving
their
a
porch.
pineapple on their front
I don't know. I'm not a swinger.
stoop?
I didn't make this up, but that's supposedly what the pineapple.
Here's another way to make money. You go back in time with pineapples.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But okay, so if they're $8,000 to buy, I reckon the rent one's going to cost you $500, right? Because they could only they have to get because the pineapple's only going to last a couple of weeks. You got to rent it out every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe more, $1,000 to rent one.
I'm sorry, this pineapple's booked up for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, and what about that one that's got furry mold on it? Can I get that for $500?
Get a discount.
Yeah, and it's got a bad side, but I'll just hold it.
This one was
face
dropped at a party. Can I get a discount?
Or if you buy a pineapple for $8,000, you'd have to, you'd want to go to a lot of parties that week.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to go to one.
Or you could
wanna
rent it out
You want to
yourself.
book yourself up for fucking Pineapple Fest.
You could maybe hollow one out and fill it with concrete or something.
I reckon if you want to act like a real rich cunt, you just come in with your pineapple and you just have it cut up into like a plastic tray. And then you're just eating it with a fork, like you've just come straight from Whole Foods. that person there, and then you'd come along, you'd have your big tub of pineapple, you'd be eating it, and then there'd be some pretentious hipster cunt in the corner of the party, and he'd be like eating watermelon, going, "Oh, you're still eating pineapple? Watermelon, watermelon's everything."
Thank you for being here, Mina. If you
Some
want to
fucking loser in the corner with cantaloupe. That fucking div. And then that one rich cunt who comes in wearing a mango like a watch.
if you want to check out more by Mina about history and hygiene and women's history, go to her TikTok channel at HistoryHo101. And join her there for more fun stuff and information. Thank you for being here, Mia.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being on the podcast. We had a good time. We hope you did too. And to all the people who are listening, thank you so much. Subscribe to our Patreon. We are taking some time off in the new year because we're off doing other things and projects, but we will be back. And if you subscribe to the Patreon and we are not on the air, we won't be charging you. So what a deal.
Yeah, patreon.com/IDKAT. You'll get a couple of episodes in December for free.
December, 2 episodes for free. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever at a party and someone brings a pineapple, go, "I don't know about that, you rich cunt," and walk away. Good night,